Would you
marry me?
like to live with me?
Oh my god, a single night and he's asking us to move in. Chat, it's happening.
Lies. You have been lied to.
The forest spirits. They're angry.
A second, lady.
Quickly.
No.
Spreading. Awaken.
Oh.
Wake up.
I blinked, opened my eyes, and turned my head to the side.
Another strange dream.
Either they're getting less terrifying, or I'm slowly getting used to them. What a scary thought. If only I could understand what they were trying to tell me. Something's kind of uncomfortable. Oh. It's way too warm. I feel like I'm burning up. I tried to kick the sheet off my legs to find that Fawn had wrapped himself up in them, and I didn't have any. Why is it so hot then? Is there fire? He was still asleep, a small crease in his brow. I wonder what he's dreaming about. He must be tired after everything that happened yesterday. I reached out and brushed a few strands of hair off his face. They were stuck to his forehead, which was drenched in sweat. I glanced around the room. There was some kind of faint glow shining through the floorboards. What? Surely it isn't morning already. When I looked towards the doorway, the sky was still dark.
What's that noise?
It's on fire. Oh my god, there's a fire. Something's not right. I quickly slid out from beside Fawn, walked up to the door. My chest felt tight and the air left my lungs.
No.
A wave of panic crept over me. The trees surrounding the house were engulfed in flames, and thick smoke billowed upwards towards the sky. The moon and stars were hidden. Actually, it wasn't just the surrounding trees that were alight. The flames licked the bottom of Fawn's wooden floorboards. It wouldn't be long until the whole thing was aflame. I grabbed my clothes as fast as I could. We have to get out of here quickly. Not just quickly, but now.
Fawn, get up, quick!
I shook him until his eyes opened.
There's a fire! We need to get out of here, now!
The heat was starting to make it difficult to breathe if we wait much longer. I grabbed my things while Fawn scrambled out of bed.
No.
Fawn stood completely still, staring at the ground. He made no effort to quicken his pace.
Fawn, we have to go! Right now! Like now!
I didn't do it on purpose. I didn't mean...
Huh? He was holding his head in his hands, staring at the ground. Even when I was yelling at him to move, he stayed still. We have no time for this. I grabbed him by the hand and pulled him towards the doorway. He didn't resist, but he also didn't try to run with me, instead letting me drag him along. The rope to get down was already alight, so it was off the table.
Fawn, I want you to jump after me. Can you do that?
I looked over at him. He gave a slight nod, but he wouldn't meet my eyes. I jumped first, barely clearing the flickering flames that were quickly covering the forest floor. Once I landed safely, I turned back towards Fawn, arms outstretched without a second thought. But he didn't move.
Fawn, do you trust me?
He blinked a couple of times. We didn't say anything. He just jumped. I caught him in my arms and quickly set him down to the ground. Does he have fire powers? No, there was a moment earlier when we asked him like why he doesn't make like a fire to cook food, and he just like didn't like it. So I think he was in a fire when he was younger, and now he's just like, he has like bad memories with it and can't function around it. Which I think is why he wasn't panicking, because maybe he was like having a flashback. I am safe and warm and home. Ooh, welcome home, Chris. We stood on the forest floor for a moment, still holding on to each other, and the reality of the situation started to sink in. Thank you for the self-care. I followed Fawn's gaze towards his treehouse. Who could have done this? He looked lost. He didn't make a sound, nor did he cry, as the flames began to engulf the entirety of his home. He just stared ahead, completely still. An unspoken sadness came from him, like his heart had broken into a million pieces.
Fawn, come on, please! We need to go! It isn't safe here!
There's two of them.
Huh?
Shouldn't it be only one? I didn't hear anything about two.
Two? Is that a voice? My ears perked up at the sound of talking. Someone else is here. I couldn't work out which direction the voice was coming from. Through the crackling and popping of the flames. I tightened my grip on Fawn's arm. He's still just staring. The smoke was beginning to get thicker and longer. We stood here. It was beginning to get thicker, and the longer we stood here, the harder it was to see. It's getting pretty difficult to breathe.
Where's our other guy? I've lost visuals on him. Nothing good ever comes from working with the likes of him anyway.
There's more than one of them. This is bad. If I can't get Fawn to move now, we'll either be cooked alive or found by whoever is looking for us.
Fawn, listen to me. I think whoever caused this fire is still here. We really have to go, now.
I didn't.
I grabbed his shoulders and turned him to face me.
Please, Fawn.
Okay.
I gave his arm a little pull, but this time he followed behind me easily. But his eyes were empty. He didn't say another word. The falling embers were lighting the grass around us on fire faster and faster. Every direction was getting completely engulfed. If we didn't find a way quickly, thank the gods it isn't windy out. We had only made it a short distance before Fawn came to a halt.
What's wrong?
There. To the left.
The left. My eyes followed his in the same direction. I could see two figures in the distance approaching Fawn's home. It doesn't look like they've seen us yet. It seems like they're looking around the burning shrubs, searching. They must be looking for us. Fawn's house looked ready to collapse and the fire still burned as strong, if not stronger, than before. But they still searched. We need to be as far away from this as possible right now. Risking their lives like that, are we that important to them?
Shouldn't you two be running?
Okay, hold up, pause. He has a whip and it's the dude that we saw earlier and we're like, oh, bark, bark, bark. Him! It's him. It's him. Who? Another voice, different from the one I heard earlier, shot out between the sounds of crackling fire. Whilst Fawn and I were preoccupied with watching the other two, we didn't notice another coming from the right on the tree line. The third person came into view. He was close. Close enough that if I took a few steps forward, I'd be able to touch him. My first thought was to ask for help, but a tug on my hand stopped me in my tracks.
Wait. He's armed.
Ah, you noticed.
The man chuckled faintly. In his hand. What is that? It looked like some kind of rope. That's the least of our worries by the look of it. In his other hand, he held the dagger. This is dangerous. I think we should...
You know, it was way too easy to follow you out here. You don't exactly try and cover up your tracks, do you? If I was in your shoes, that would be the first thing I'd do.
I don't know shit.
Guess-
Mother... I guess we can't all be as wise as me, though. Follow? Fawn pulled at my hand again until I was standing directly behind him, placing himself between us.
When they told me I'd be tracking some guy out into the forest, I was a little worried. But you know what? The thrill of catching you here is worth it.
I take it back. He's not the love interest. He's not the love interest. He's the fucking enemy. He took a few steps. Maybe enemies to lovers? No. He took a few steps towards Fawn and I. I flinched. A cold shiver ran down my back and I could feel myself covered in sweat. Have I heard that voice before? I searched desperately through the thick smoke. He was tall and slender, but most of his figure was obscured. Red hair? The only thing I could make out on his face was a sly grin. I could hear Fawn whispering to me, desperation in his voice.
Raen, we need to run the...
A loud cracking noise came from behind, as the first part of Fawn's house began to crumble to the forest floor. The other two men were still at the base of the tree, but the debris the debris just missed them. They continued their search, oblivious to what was happening over here. Fawn tightened his grip on my hand. I wouldn't be surprised if it bruised later.
Fawn, I think that could be...
Rain. Rain. Wake up.
What the fuck?
Safety. Find him. Go. Far from here.
Where am I? I'm on the ground. Why? The fire? That man. Fawn. Fawn!
Fawn!
Rain.
When I sat up, the world around me spanned. Fawn was sprawled out on the ground not far from me. I crawled over to him. He didn't look hurt, but he seemed pretty out of it.
Are you okay?
I'm okay. I just... what? Where am I? What just happened?
He seemed a little confused, but I couldn't blame him. I'm confused too. I just hope he didn't hit his head. I checked over his body. He had a few scrapes, but it doesn't look like he's bleeding. Slowly, I glanced back towards Fawn's house. Well, where it used to be, but now it's just a mountain of debris. What exactly just happened? It was falling, but then... all I remember is a loud bang.
I think it exploded. Did you have something explosive in there?
The ground and the trees around us are lightly charred, but the worst of the flames had gone down. Only embers were left sizzling on the ground. My throat felt hoarse from the smoke. I wish we had something to drink. Everything that Fawn had is gone. Everything he owned, collected, loved.
I'm so sorry.
What am I meant to do now?
Aww.
This is all my fault.
What did you do?
I'm being punished.
Huh?
It's not. Those people...
What's left for me now?
His question hung in the air, lingering. I don't know what I can say to him. What can you say to someone that has just lost everything? Nothing. There's nothing I can do to make this better. That makes it even more painful.
My friends. Where are they?
I'm sorry, Fawn. I wish I could do something.
Sitting here wasn't going to solve anything, though. I pushed myself onto my feet, swaying a little at first. The smoke definitely went to my head.
I'm going to see if anything survived the...
Do you think?
Fawn glanced up at me from where he was seated on the forest floor.
The other people? I don't know.
I'll come with you.
I held my hand out to Fawn and pulled him up beside me. This is just too awful. I looked sideways at Fawn, glad to have him by my side. I don't know exactly what we'll find over there, and I'm worried about those strange men. Are they still nearby, or... We walked back towards the smoldering pile of wood where Fawn's house once stood. I could see Fawn's treasures littered about on the ground, most of it burnt to a crisp and barely recognizable. I crouched down to the floor and pushed through the ashes and rubble. I picked up a wooden toy, untouched by the fire somehow, an animal. A small, sad smile came to his face when I held it out to him.
Thank you.
I'm sorry. I feel like if I wasn't here, none of this would have ever happened to you.
I can't handle this guilt. My chest feels heavy, like it's slowly consuming me. I'm the first person he's ever seen out here, and he showed me kindness when he didn't have to. Look what he got in return. His whole life is ruined in one night. Everything he's built up, everything he loves, is all gone.
No, it's not your fault. I don't want you to blame yourself. This is because of me.
What the fuck did you do?
Uh,
I don't know how much longer I can hold back my tears. We worked together to move some of the debris until we finally made out some scraps of fabric. That's insane, Chad. all melted to the lifeless bodies underneath them. As disgusting as it was, I couldn't look away. They died? The dudes who attacked us died. I couldn't look away. They were people too, even if what happened to Fawn was probably their fault.
I guess they didn't survive.
No, I guarantee that redhead is still alive. He has red hair for a reason, and he has like a portrait on the game. That means he's like part of the plot. He's not dying anytime soon. The two men were crushed underneath the rubble. Yep, see, it's two men, not the third one. They didn't stand a chance. I hope for their sake they died quickly when the tree collapsed, rather than slowly in flames. Fawn put his arm around my shoulders and turned me away from the gruesome scene.
Don't look anymore. It'll only make it worse.
Yeah.
You're right. Did you see the third one?
I'm not sure. Everything's so burned.
He's alive. He was standing so close to us, I could have almost touched him. He might have survived. If he's alive, is he still in the area? Or did he flee after seeing what happened to his companions? I don't know. I scanned the area. Nothing. Wait. I caught a glimpse of red between the greenery. What is that?
Wait, look over there.
I walked towards the vibrant color and pulled back the charred branches that stood in the way. My breath caught in my throat. Slumped against the tree trunk was a man. Long, flowing red hair, eyebrows furrowed in pain. It wasn't the first time I'd seen him either. A man that I bumped into only a few days ago. The one that told me about the speaker's archives. A man from Aurelia Cavella.
No way.
I heard a gasp from behind me. Neither of us expected to find him so easily.
Shit.
Thousands of questions swirled around in my head, but now wasn't the time. He looked hurt. Slowly and quietly, I inched closer to him. From a distance, I could see that he had some cuts and bruises, but they didn't look too bad. There were scars on his stomach and arms too, but they looked old. How did he get these? I knelt down beside him. Right now, whatever he did or said didn't matter. He just needs help. He tried to kill us, Raen. For the love of gods. He tried to kill us. I started as his legs and worked my way up. No injuries here. Stomach seemed fine, apart from a bruise or two. I looked back at his face. Eyes that were previously closed in pain now bore into me. He didn't look happy. I'm too close. Barely a second went by before a blade was pressed against my throat. You see what happens, Raen? You see what happens. Dear fucking God. I froze. What do I do? He pushed the knife against my skin, and I felt a warm, stinging sensation. Holy fuck. Followed by the feeling of something wet running down my throat. I swallowed, but my mouth felt completely dry. His eyes hadn't left mine this whole time. They were watching me, almost as if he was judging my every movement.
You're injured. Let me...
You think I need help from someone like you?
He smirked at me, though it was obvious he was still in pain.
I'd die before letting a pipsqueak like you...
Mid-sentence, he started coughing abruptly. A loud, throaty cough. Now's my chance.
Gotcha!
Before I could do anything, Fawn came up beside me and knocked the blade right out of the man's hand. My hand went instantly to my throat. I was met with a wet sensation, but the cut didn't feel very deep. The stinging was only mild. When the injured man started reaching for something else, I noticed red all over the hand he just coughed into. Wait, something else. I quickly grabbed both of his arms. They felt both toned and strong. He's definitely fit, and much stronger than me, but his injuries must have weakened him a little.
Fawn, see if he has any other weapons.
1, 2, 3, 6 other daggers and a whip. Oh my. Right now is not the time to feel... No, like I was thinking about it. Like, why are you being so noticeful of it? 6 other daggers and a whip.
You're well equipped.
Oh my.
Well, I was. Now I'm not equipped at all.
I let go of his arms. He was barely fighting against me now. I peered into his face again. A line of red trickled out from the corner of his mouth.
Which parts hurt?
Huh. The redhead was still out cold. This is our chance to check his wounds properly without him complaining. We looked over his exposed arms and stomach again, but there was nothing life-threatening. Fawn got back to work with cleaning the dirt from those wounds while I checked elsewhere. His face, fine. He's actually got pretty nice features, but you can barely tell past his awful expression. Oh my god, we're admiring him? Honestly, yeah. Legs don't seem to have any problems. They felt quite muscular too. I felt them for a moment before moving on. Oh my god! I looked again at the small trickle of blood coming out of his mouth.
I guess I should check his mouth?
I glanced at Fawn for confirmation. He gave me a little nod. Alright, here goes. I touched his finger to his mouth. His lips were soft. Softer than they ought to be for someone with such nasty language. I parted his lips with my finger and opened his mouth. His eyes shot open. We instantly made eye contact. He's gonna bite our finger.
You mind getting your fingers out of my mouth?
Oh my god.
Oh, of course.
I took my finger out of his mouth and a disgusted look spread over his face. He spat and reached for his belt.
What did you do with my weapons?
Don't worry, we have them safe.
Oh, I'm not worried about them. You just know what they say. Don't let children near sharp objects.
I'll
and all.
fucking bite you. I don't know.
Especially if that pipsqueak over there has them.
It looks like his attitude wasn't injured. He sat up, but it looked like moving took a lot of effort. Right now, he doesn't seem too dangerous.
Listen, you need our help. You obviously can't leave by yourself, so just cut the attitude and let us help you. Why don't we introduce ourselves? My name's Raen, and the one with the light hair over there is Fawn.
And I'm the king of Aurelia Cavella. Fine. Leos.
Leos! He seems like a Leos.
You should have just left me where you found me. Can't think of anything worse than being indebted to someone like you.
What's wrong with us?
Stop being so unappreciative. We could still leave you here.
I just want chocolates. Fawn walked back over from the river. He gathered some water to clean Leo's wounds.
This might sting a little.
Ouch.
Oh my, threesome?
I'm sorry.
Don't be. It serves him right.
Oh. I chuckled quietly. That's what you get for being nasty. While Fawn was busy, we had a moment of silence. Finally, a chance to ask some questions.
So, what exactly is going on? Did you burn Fawn's house down? Were you with the other two?
He watched me with narrowed eyes, probably deciding if he even wanted to bother answering my questions. Eventually, he just sighed.
No point in keeping it secret now. If I go back, they'll just get rid of me anyway. I know they'll look for any excuse. Someone hired me to track you down, and paid well for it, too.
And the other two. The fire.
Yes, I was with the other two, but they were idiots anyway. I'm sure they're burning in hell by now. You can blame them for the fire. I wouldn't do something so showy.
Someone hired you to track me down? Why? Now you're going to stay quiet?
Sorry, I was just admiring how dense you are. To kill you, obviously.
Oh!
I didn't know about the other kid, though.
He glanced at Fawn.
What? Why would anyone?
No clue. I just follow orders.
I felt sick. Who would do that to me?
But in the town square.
Whoa, you're not a total airhead after all. I'm amazed. The only instructions I received were to follow you and direct you to the archives somehow. Not the kind of job I'm used to. Any sane person that wanted you dead would have had me assassinate you in your sleep, but money's money. Not my job to ask questions. I thought it would have been more work, but you took the bait easily. You should learn not to trust people.
Honestly, yeah.
But I was thrown out because of that. Because of you!
You were thrown out because you're so gullible. That has nothing to do with me. Maybe you shouldn't believe everything you're told, huh?
True, you were in a cult.
Anyway, you can blame whoever employed me. I'm not taking the blame for that one.
Then, What do you know about my markings? You said you recognized them.
Absolutely nothing. I just repeated what I was told to say.
Oh.
How am I meant to see something your sleeve is covering? Idiot.
My face flared up. I really do feel like an idiot. Whoever hired him was the one who knew about my markings then. It's the... oh my god, it's the speaker. It's the dude in charge of the cult. I have two leads. Prince Caspian and Leo's employer. Neither would be easy to find. It's not exactly like I can traipse back home to question them. And what about the prince? Is he even still alive? I've never heard about him from anyone. Fawn watched me with worried eyes, but still went about cleaning Leos's cuts. Before I could ask anything else, he cut back into the conversation.
I've cleaned up your wounds as best I can, but
He glanced at Leos's mouth.
I think some of them may be beyond us. We need to get help from a healer or a doctor.
How? If either of us enter Aurelia Cavella, we'll be toast.
Well, if we go east, through the forest, we'll eventually get to Stagwitch. Sid Kaim is past that, but it's pretty far away.
Those names again. What's he talking about?
Fawn, I didn't want to say anything before, but maybe you're a little confused from being out here so long. Aurelia Cavella is the only place nearby. Well, the only place full stop. The rest of the world is just forest. You should know that.
You keep saying things like that. Is that really what they told you?
He had a sad look in his eyes.
I'm not sure what they taught you in your hometown, but
I mean, we didn't know about love or like kissing or anything like that.
there's an entire world out here. Cities, villages, nations, people. I've never even heard of Aurelia Cavella.
What do you mean? You've never been there?
It's a cult.
I don't think so. It's kind of strange. I remember following the river at one point, but there was a dense fog, and I'd find myself back at my house. I'm starting to believe there's not a village there at all.
Of course there is.
You keep some, interesting company. A crazy, delusional wild forest boy, some kind of cross between a mouse and a fairy.
What the fuck?
I'm not crazy. I can't believe that a place with those kinds of teachings could possibly exist.
My book does say something about Sid Cam, but I don't know. Something strange is going on.
You two might not believe me yet, but like you said, you can't return home, and you need help. You'll just have to trust me this time.
Wait, does that mean that he thinks that Aurelia Cavella is the only place in the town? I still have music. I didn't know that. Thank you for the self-care.
I can show you to the edge of the forest, and the two of you can go down and find help. And then I'll try to rebuild, I guess.
Come with us. When he puts it like that, there's really not a lot of options. We can't go back, and staying here isn't an option either. If we just play along, he'll eventually work out that no matter how far we walk, we're not going to get anywhere. I guess being as far away from here as possible would probably be in our favor, too.
Okay. I trust you, Fawn. We'll go with you.
He beamed at me. Seems like it was the correct answer.
I don't get a say in this?
Nope.
Nope.
So, we follow the crazy man out into the middle of the forest. Sounds like an amazing plan, and one that definitely won't end in murder.
That's funny, coming from you.
Honestly, yeah. Really, though. Leos looked kind of delicate up close. A pained expression, dark eyelashes, a slim face. Boy, pick your type. Which type do you like?
Hey, up close you aren't so bad looking.
Oh my god. That shut him up.
Actually, I wanted to ask, what exactly does that make you then? Why do they hire you?
An assassin, a mercenary, now whatever I'm paid enough to be.
He looked away. Seems like he didn't want to talk about it. I pushed on it.
An assassin? They actually exist? Why?
To get rid of unwanted people. Why else? And right now, You're looking very unwanted.
You know, bodies are being dumped out here. Do you know anything about that?
Just full of questions, aren't you?
I guess that's the end of his leniency. He answered a lot of my questions, though, which is surprising.
I'm finished with your wounds now. Try not to get any more dirt in them.
And here I was, thinking of smearing mud through my cuts. Thank you for your wisdom, O gracious one. How will I ever be able to repay you?
He's such an asshole. Oh dear. Fawn looked away, embarrassed. I'm not great at dealing with people like him, but Fawn's definitely worse. I glared at him, but the cocky grin didn't leave his face.
They won't stop with just sending me. When I don't return, they'll just send someone else.
Then we need to get out of here before anyone else comes. Will you be able to walk? Do you want us to carry you again?
I'm fine on my own.
You're bleeding internally. He tried to stand, but his legs were still unsteady. Finally, with only a little of our unwanted help, he stood up.
If you need to lean on my shoulder while you walk, you can. I don't mind.
I'm not sure I can bend down that far.
Fine. Don't complain when you end up needing my help.
What an asshole. Next to him, Fawn looked like a saint.
It's a bit of a walk to the forest's edge. We should leave now before it gets too dark.
Fawn motioned in the direction that I presumed was the way we needed to go. For now, we'll follow him. Even if he might be slightly delusional, it's better than staying here. My eye itches. Especially now that we know the others could come after me.
Yeah. I think that's for the best.
Okay then.
Fawn looked at Leos with a concerned expression on his face. It was obvious just from the way he was standing that he was already struggling. I wonder, will he really be okay with a long walk? I wanted to help him, but he won't have a bar of it. He's way too stubborn. If I even try to reach out and steady him, he flings abuse at me. Whatever, then let him struggle. Yeah, let him struggle. If he really needs help, I want him to ask for it. He can beg.
Hurry up then. Lead the way, forest fairy.
He does look like a forest fairy. Look how cute he is.
Forest fairy?
You prefer mouse, pipsqueak, runt? Glad that's settled then.
Why am I into him? I'm so upset, chat. Why am I into him?
Get a move on, unless you want to be caught here. It'd be a laugh watching you two defend yourselves, though. Maybe we should stick around after all.
What? Poor Fawn. He really can't catch a break. I looked over at him apologetically. Why is Leos' attitude so bad? I'm not holding my breath, but it'd be nice if he could be even a little bit friendlier. We're doing all this for him anyway. The least he could do is show some gratitude. Because you love red flags, you're right, and he literally has red hair. Even better. But
We don't have any supplies now.
his red flag
either.
is showing.
I didn't think about that. What do we do about food?
We'll have to find water along the way too. I'm sure we'll stumble across some fresh water, so if we can scavenge berries or something, we should be okay.
What about shelter?
I'm not sure. Hopefully, we can find somewhere under cover.
Less talking, more moving.
Yes, yes, Your Highness.
The last few hours have been extremely slow. We've walked a little more, then walked a little further. Fawn walked slightly ahead, scouting out our path and guiding us. All Leos and I could do was follow along behind him. The setting sun cast our surroundings in orange and red. For some reason, this time of day seemed the most sad. When I looked around, it didn't look any different to where we were an hour ago. Or 2 hours ago. Or 3. But obviously Fawn knew where he was going. Or where he thought he was going anyway. He tried not to show it, but Leos must have been in a lot of pain. He didn't fall behind, but he was struggling. If I tried to help him, he'd brush me off and insult me again. After all this walking, even I felt exhausted, so I almost didn't even want to think about how Leos was feeling.
Fawn, I think Leos and I are getting a bit tired. Maybe we should start looking for somewhere to stay for the night.
He stopped at the tracks and turned to face us. Here I was, huffing and puffing, and he hadn't even broken a sweat. He's really something else.
You might be right. it'll start getting dark soon. I'll see if I can find some place to rest. Wait here for a second.
Before I could blink, he was already halfway up a tree. He climbed it like it was natural.
What is he? Is some kind of monkey?
I thought you were going with mouse.
Do you really trust him?
I looked over at Leos, puzzled. This was the first time we've really been left alone together. It's pretty awkward being alone with someone that tried to kill you.
Why wouldn't I?
He lives out here? In the forest? By himself?
He could climb me like a tree, Rio. Or we could make him break a swing. Oh my god, you're right.
He's obviously got a few screws loose as well.
He hasn't given me any reason to not trust him. He might have some crazy ideas, but he's the only reason I've survived this long. And he's not as weak as you think he is either. So yeah, I do trust him. He's more trustworthy than some assassin who goes around burning down houses, huh?
True.
Ouch. You wound me. But that really wasn't...
Guys, I can see some kind of lake to the south of us.
He's just upside down. Fawn popped his head out of the tree and waved to us.
All right. That sounds like where we'll be spending the night. Can you lead us there?
Of course.
His expression was bright and warm. Seeing him smile like that made me happy for some reason. He dropped down from the tree gracefully like a cat.
Follow me.
Like we have a choice.
Oh, fuck. I elbowed him lightly in the ribs. Hope it hurt. Oh, this might be a weird topic, but I'm kind of interested in what Leos thinks. Maybe he'll know something about what Fawn said last night.
Hey, Fawn, tell Leos about that kissing thing. And the marriage and love.
Really? Right now?
My god. He flared up again.
Fawn told me that when you want to be with someone forever, you fall in love, get married, and kiss. Have you ever heard of that?
What are you on about?
And when you kiss, you make babies.
Oh.
Is that how they do it at home?
Oh, you sweet summer child. Oh, shit.
No. You don't have babies after you kiss.
Oh, then how do you have babies?
I am a visual learner. I would need to know.
That's obvious. The speaker has something to do with it, of course.
No, seriously? You don't know?
I would like a visual example, please.
I don't. They don't tell us anything about babies until after we're matched up.
When two people are in love, they, show it physically.
What the fuck is he talking about? Love?
This is so great.
I have no clue.
This is awesome.
He told me it's something you feel when you look at someone. But all I feel when I look at you is... indifference?
I'm flattered. All I feel when I look at you is a desire to trip you over.
Enemies to lovers, I'm calling it now.
Girls can get pregnant by breathing the same air as guys? What the fuck, GB? What the fuck?
That's not very nice.
How can you not know about something like love? I mean, even if you don't know about it, surely it's something you could still feel. You don't have to understand love to feel it. In fact, I think most people don't really understand love. But to not even know of the notion?
Sounds like something a crazy tree-dwelling lunatic would come up with.
You know what? It sounds amazing.
It sounds amazing.
Does it?
It is. Well, at least I think it is. Before I lived here, everyone around me loved each other. My family loved each other. My parents.
What an idiot. We all know that you get babies if you put the other person's shoe under the bed. Vaughn, give practical lessons to our boy Rain. Yeah.
My parents loved each other as well. It's normal to grow up surrounded by love.
His parents. Didn't he mention not knowing them? He turned his face away from us. Maybe it'd be best to leave the subject alone for now.
Ah, is this the lake?
I bet a fire started when he was a kid, and he thinks that it was his fault, and then it ended up killing his family. Fucking bet. Oh, it's so pretty! We came out in a small clearing. Weeds and flowers grew by the edge of the lake, and the frogs croaked loudly. The water was mostly still, apart from a small trickle.
Do you think the water's fresh enough for us to drink?
Maybe.
Who knows what kind of filth grows in a place like this?
You're a piece of shit.
Well, some of the water is running, so it should be safe enough to drink.
Really?
Maybe. I'd be a bit more worried if the water was completely still, but I'm sure it'll be fine.
He didn't look entirely convinced. Not many other options around for water, though.
We were lucky to find some so quickly. I wish we could take some with us, though. We still have a long walk ahead of us.
True. Colo! Woof, 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 woof. Hi, Colo. How you doing? How's your Friday going?
I'll appoint myself as supervisor then. Get on with it.
He plonked himself down on the grass. Typical.
I'll see if I can find anything useful.
Fawn immediately went to work, searching through the surrounded bushes.
Hey, Leos. Surely you have something useful in that pack of yours.
Something very useful. Come take a look.
I leaned over and looked into his bag.
More knives? Really?
He grinned. Smug asshole. Work is super dumb. We shall riot. I'm sorry that sucks, so Colo. Hopefully it gets better.
Forget it. You're totally useless.
What's not useful about a few extra blades, huh?
Everything when we're trying to survive out here.
I can think of plenty of ways that a dagger could help you to survive.
What?
You're too innocent.
Ugh, how irritating. Why are we bothering to help him again? Looking pretty satisfied with himself, he watched while Fawn and I searched around the area. So he has more daggers after all. I guess stripping him of his weapons was kind of a waste of time. It makes me feel a little bit uneasy. I don't trust him with them, not even slightly. It'll be hard to take them too. Will he try to attack us during the night? Who knows, I wouldn't put it past him. But maybe he feels like he owes us and won't try to hurt us? Maybe. It's really big maybe. By the way he carries himself, I can assume he knows how to use them well. I don't want to wind up on the receiving end again. When I put my hand to my throat, I can still feel the cut from earlier. It still stung, but at least it was only light. That confrontation could have ended up a lot worse. I dug around the bushes a little and checked around the perimeter. There wasn't much around. Sticks, rocks, the occasional mushroom. I found my way back over to Fond.
Found anything?
No. I think we're too far from anywhere to find anything here.
I guess we can't take any with us then. Still, at least we can drink now. Leos, if you want a drink, you're gonna have to come get it yourself.
Aren't you supposed to be taking care of me? I mean, you want me to walk all the way over there? By myself? You two sure are useful.
He dragged himself from the grass, biting his lip the whole time. Despite, well, his whole personality, I do feel a little sorry for him. I wish there was something I could do to help.
I'll keep an eye out for more water along the way.
Okay, thanks, Fawn.
I sat down next to the water and looked at my face. In the near still water, my reflection stared straight back at me. Ugh, I look bad. I'm filthy, covered in injuries, and I have huge bags under my eyes already. A lot's happened the last few days, but it's no excuse to look this bad.
Are you okay? Aren't you thirsty?
Ah, no, I'm definitely thirsty. A lot's happened lately. I guess I was just trying to process some of it.
No point dwelling on it. Just accept it and move on. You're not the only one that's lost something.
Hi, Zaps! You're gonna time yourself out again, aren't you? I glanced over my shoulder. Both of them were behind me watching. I knew it! He timed himself out. I glanced over my shoulder. Both of them were behind me, watching. Leos crossed his arms over his chest, a strange look on his face. I guess both of them have lost important things too.
Yeah, I know.
I dipped my hands into the ice-cold water. It felt fresh and cool against my sweaty skin. I quickly washed my face and had a drink. Just doing that made me feel a lot better. You washed your face and then drank the water? So whatever was on your face was in the water you just drank. I should probably check my wounds while I'm at it.
Let me help.
Fawn sat down in front of me, cross-legged. He unwound a cloth that was wrapped around my arm and inspected the wound.
It already looks a lot better.
Ah, I didn't mean to do it. He raised my chin with his fingertips and took a quick look at my throat. Looks like it was only a scratch after all.
Leos, I can check yours too, if you'd like.
Without complaint, he sat down opposite me. With a straight look on his face, he let Fawn check and clean his wounds again. This time, he stared at me silently.
So, what happened to your arm? That's not an injury from today.
I looked over at Fawn, the exact moment he looked at me. What should I say? Why would he care? He shook his head at me. Maybe he thought it was best not to tell him about what happened.
I got scratched by a tree when I was walking around at night.
Oh my god. Okay. He didn't look convinced. Oh well, I don't have to convince him.
I know you said you didn't know anything about my markings, but have a look again. You might remember something.
I'm not saying that in public I'll get canceled. Oh my god. I rolled up my other sleeve and showed him the black engravings running up my arm.
When you told me to go to the archives, I found a book with the same markings in it, but I have no clue what it says.
For once, Leos' face was serious as he listened to me closely.
The only thing that stood out to me was the name Caspian. I think he could have been the last of the royal family. Maybe he'd be able to read these markings.
Caspian? The last king wasn't Caspian. He never became the king.
What?
Caspian never ascended to the throne.
Still, you know about him? I've never heard a thing about him.
Well, how old are you?
I just came of age, 18.
Well, that'd be why. He wasn't around much then, if at all. He disappeared when you were just a baby. I was, well, only a kid at the time too, so I don't know too much about him.
So he's a little bit older than us. So we're the youngest. Oh my god, chat, we're going for the DILFs.
All I know is that him and his entire family were all met with untimely deaths.
They died? Did he die too?
Who knows? They didn't find his body. But no one's seen him since either.
My heart dropped. Caspian. He's my only hope.
You don't know that though. I survived out here. Maybe he's hiding somewhere.
I must ask you a question, chat.
No way. No one could survive out here for that long.
He looked Fawn up and down.
No one normal, anyway.
What the fuck?
Well, anyway, no one knows. And a little stranger, no one talks about it. I mean, you didn't even know he existed, right? Not that I care. It doesn't make any difference to me. Not anymore.
I feel like he's a tsundere. Anymore? Still, that's a good point. I knew that at one point we had a monarchy, a king, and a royal family, but I've never heard the details. I don't even know when it was dismantled. Weird.
So, you're shirted.
Are you talking to me?
Who else would I be talking to? Yes, you.
My shirt. I found it.
I lost one, very similar to that, not long ago.
It's his shirt. They're wearing the same shirt.
I found it on the riverbank near where my house used to be.
How did you lose yours, Leos?
I was washing it in the river.
It's his shirt.
Seriously?
Oh, it's starting to get pretty dark.
Today felt like a long day.
We've been talking for so long, I didn't even notice it getting darker and darker.
We should probably get some rest.
The further we go, the colder it's going to get. It'd probably be best if we stayed near each other tonight.
We're gonna cuddle. We're gonna cuddle. It wasn't darker until the sudden scene changed. You right. Hey, Fawn's trying to get some, man. He blushed again. It's kind of cute.
You two can huddle together all you want. I'll be fine by myself.
He's gonna be shivering. After brushing his clothes off, he quickly slept. Like, oh, I thought he took his clothes off for some reason. He quickly left to sleep somewhere out of sight. I'm really not surprised that he didn't agree, but that was still a little rude.
I'll find somewhere comfortable.
Wait, what? No, cuddle. Fawn went in the opposite direction. Oh, look at that, chat. That's when we, don't worry. Don't worry about what that looks like. We can pick Fawn, and then maybe we'll go back and pick Leos. Well, I'm sure leaving Leos by himself will be fine. It's not like he wanted me near there, and I don't want to be around him either. Like Fawn said, sticking close together for the night is a better idea. I'll go find him instead. I followed in the direction I saw him go a moment ago. I found him leaning up against a large tree, his eyes shut softly.
Hey, Fawn. Are you awake?
He nodded at me, opening his eyes slightly. He sounds really worn out. When I sat down next to him, he scooted a little closer. I'm sure he's cold in what he's wearing. Where our arms touched, I could feel how cold he was even through our clothes. Quickly, I removed my jacket and laid it over his shoulders. He opened his mouth, probably to protest.
I'm warm, really. I'll tell you if I want to pack.
Are you gonna teach us how to kiss?
I looked up towards the heavens. Above us, thousands of stars filled the dark sky.
You know, it's worth enduring through the darkness, because then you'll get to see the stars.
I turned to look at Fawn. He was staring at me already. Stars enchanted me from within his big, round eyes. I didn't want to look away.
So...
Oh.
You go first.
Oh, so where did Leos go?
I'm not sure. I didn't check. I'm sure he'll be fine.
You could have stayed with him tonight. He's injured and...
Why? I'd rather come with you.
I'm sure you would. He looked away from me, a pink hue to his cheeks. His long eyelashes brushed against his delicate, pale skin. It seems like a strange thing to notice, but it really stands out for some reason.
Thank you.
I don't really know how to say this, and I know nothing I say is going to make it better, but I'm really sorry about your house, everything you collected, your friends.
Don't worry about it. I'm just glad you're safe. I'm glad that you made it out alive. I hope they escaped. All I can do is hope.
I watched the night sky for a moment.
You know, The speaker taught us that the gods are always watching over us. From the moon, the sun, from every star in the sky. Surely they're watching out for us right now. I know everything will be okay.
I felt something soft on my shoulder.
Oh my god!
When I looked down, all I could see was his messy blue hair. He must be exhausted.
Fawn, really, I should be the one thanking you. So much has happened, and you've stuck with me through it all. You show me nothing but kindness.
No moist in this chat. What the fuck, Cortex?
I've never met anyone like you before.
What the fuck?
Are you awake?
He shifted a little. I probably made him embarrassed again.
Have you heard the story about the sun and the moon before?
The sun and the moon?
The god of the sun and the god of the moon. The matron at my orphanage told it to me growing up. Once upon a time, the sun and the moon worked in harmony. They weren't contained to night and day, but ruled over the skies together. For a time, it worked. But they wanted more, and that was their undoing. The two were split apart forever, never to meet again. The matron says that after this, the two would reach out towards each other at dawn and at dusk, but they can never quite reach far enough.
Why are you telling me this?
You're pretty smart, Fawn. I wanted to know what you thought. To this day, I still don't know what she was trying to tell me. I guess I'll never find out. I hope they're okay.
Do you think they should have stayed apart?
I'm not sure, honestly.
Your biggest regrets in life come from not doing the things you want to do. If they took a chance and failed, at least they tried. If it's for the one you love, you can do anything. And who knows, they may still be able to fix it.
Love?
That's what it sounds like to me.
I closed my eyes and leant my head against his. It was warm and comfortable. It felt natural.
It really is strange, you know? That so many bad things could happen. Yet, I could feel so happy. I don't know what it is about you, but you cheer me up every time.
I don't know how to put it into words, but there's something special about Fawn. Thoughts of Fawn drifted through my mind as my consciousness slipped away. That was beautiful.
Truth.
Uh,
Find it. Judgment. From the gods.
Ugh.
Okay, pause. Hold up. That was Fawn. I want to go back and I want to see what happens if we pick Leos. I'm still a little worried about Leos going off by himself with his injuries. If anything happened to him, he wouldn't find out until tomorrow morning. Plus, I almost don't want to admit it, but I'm scared. He still has those weapons on him, so I want to keep an eye on him. Or he could sneak off in the middle of the night and tell everyone where we are. Fawn should be okay, right? After glancing back towards Fawn, I followed in the direction that Leos had gone only a moment before. It took a minute to find my way over to him. He was perched on the edge of the lake upon a large rock. I tried to sneak up on him, but his eyes quickly found mine before I got too close.
And here I was, thinking I could get an evening of peace and quiet.
Oh. Sorry, I can go back if you want.
Sit down. You wouldn't want to wake up your little friend, would you?
I sat down on the other side of the rock, leaving some distance between us.
Of course not.
And then silence. Awkward.
Ugh.
God, this is awkward. Please just fall asleep quickly. I didn't think this far through. What am I meant to say?
So, why did you come over here by yourself?
He watched me for a moment before turning his attention back to the water.
What? You want me to be all cuddly with you in your forest, pal? I'm good, thanks. Does it really even matter?
I guess not. But we're all stuck out here in the same situation. Nowhere to go, no one else to rely on. We might as well try and get along, right?
Did you hit your head earlier, or are you actually that much of an idiot?
Oh, shit.
What? Ugh.
Huh? He pushed me down, and my back hit the rock with a thud.
Ouch!
In an instant, he was above me, peering down into my face. Hey, like that? Like, like that or no? The way he was looking at me, I felt like I shouldn't move an inch. No, I couldn't. It was like he'd frozen me with just a glance. I was completely cornered.
I'm sorry, but maybe you've forgotten the reason that I'm out here. The reason I'm stuck with the two of you fucking idiots in the first place. I'm sure you thought you'd come keep an eye on me, just in case I did something in the middle of the night, right? Are you too dumb to realize that it just puts you in more danger? Do you really think that you being here makes me less dangerous?
He knows what he's doing. I have beef with this VA. It's good, right?
The prey serves itself up on a silver platter.
He reached down to the pouch secured on his leg. We both knew what he had in there. The daggers that Fawn and I stupidly hadn't taken from him. Okay, but like, this ain't like so bad. Put some romance on, man. It'd be kind of nice. He raised a brow at my silence.
Oh, so now you choose to shut up.
You won't do it.
Is this scary music? This is like intense, but I feel like this is just, you know, setting the mood.
Excuse me?
What
makes you think you're so special? What makes you think you're so much better than the rest of the people I've killed?
There was a dangerous look in his eyes. A coldness, but also a fierceness. Passion, longing, but for what?
You won't do it.
I didn't break eye contact. I tried with all my might to hide the nervousness I felt. I thought about this a little bit before, but up close he looked different. Softer, more delicate. Everything apart from his eyes.
And why not? It wouldn't be difficult. One smooth cut through your windpipe and you wouldn't even be able to scream. Oh, how I'd enjoy listening to you gasp and cough as the blood flows from your throat. Oh, the thought gives me great pleasure.
Why don't you just fuck the knife?
The pipsqueak wouldn't even know what happened until he finds you face down in the lake tomorrow.
Why am I... Why am I into this? Fuck me. Okay.
Be my guest. Go on.
Oh my god, he's into it
Do
too.
it.
This is when everyone leaves. With a tilt of my head, I smiled up at him.
You would have already done it if you were going to. I'm not scared of you.
Truthfully, he terrifies me. He doesn't need to know that, though. Rio! Rio! Rio!
Whatever.
His body disappears from above me as he moved away. When I turned my head to check on him, I saw him lying on the rock not far from me, staring up at the sky. Rio, please. Instead of moving, I stayed where I'd been pushed down. For a time, the only sound was the gentle trickling of water. The adrenaline was already beginning to wear off. With everything that's happened, I couldn't help but be tired. I let out a big yawn and stretched out my arms. Wherever we'd headed, I hope we could get there without any more problems.
Go to sleep, Rain.
Oh. His voice startled me, suddenly calling my name like that. I thought he was already asleep, but apparently not. He was still staring up at the sky, at the star-filled sky, unmoved.
Can I ask you a question?
I can't stop you, even if I wanted to.
Do you hate me?
Hate you? Why?
What am I even saying? My impression of Leos. Honestly, he seems pretty shitty, but surely there's something more to him beyond that.
You'd have to hate someone to kill them, right?
No. You don't have to hate someone to kill them. You can kill without feeling anything for the other person. You can kill people that are important to you, too.
Why would anyone do that?
Who knows? Good night.
Good night.
I closed my heavy eyelids. Unsurprisingly, it didn't take long for me to drift off. You're beautiful? Oh my god.
Truth. Find it. Judgment. From the gods.